Suddenly, 4 bright pinpricks appeared on the tactical display. Torpedoes. The glow surrounding Invincible's signature dimmed. The flagship had just lowered her specialized thermal shields to give way for her volley. As the projectiles ripped across the grids, the enemy vessel's radar contact winked out. Enemy contact's thermal signature lost. Tough buzzed. We are still tracking its magnetic signature. Register it for future reference. The torpedo suddenly curved, as if bloodhounds tracking an invisible scent. And I realized they were after the ship's magnetic signature after all. Then, the radar contact popped back into existence, and the vector readouts went mad. The ship began accelerating to almost the speed of the torpedoes themselves, before doubling back on a reciprocal course right back towards Invincible. I fingered a dial, intently observing the readings around Invincible. The signature remained dim, even as the stealth ship and its torpedo bloodhounds raced towards its starboard bow. Her shields remained lowered. Is Trench unable to raise his deflector shields? I asked aloud in disbelief. Thermal shields cannot be raised while they are recharging. Tough enlightened me. A 4. I gnashed my teeth. Get me a line with Invincible's bridge. Make it snappy. A heartbeat felt way too long as the enemy ship and its torpedo entourage raced each other to their destruction. Hearing Tough's synthesized voice made my ears pop. The connection has been. Admiral. I all but screamed. Transfer me the fleet command codes. Now. Captain Bonteri. Hurry the fuck. I squinted as a new source of light glared in from the windows, and even the droids couldn't help but twist their metal necks over to watch the Invincible's forward bridge disintegrate in a ball of fire. From the smoke, the spear-like hull of the space submarine slashed out and tore across our viewports. Before Repulse's automated gunnery systems could even the flagship of the blockade, Providence-class dreadnought Invincible, almost groaned as it began listing in real space, dead in the water and captured by the planet's mass. Get me a preliminary scan on Invincible, I commanded weakly, out of breath. I want to know the extent of damage, and how fast she can get back into action. The transceiver on my command chair started beeping, indicating that a new data dump had been received. My gut stirred. Repulse has received the control codes for the blockade fleet. Sir, Tuffy reported, as dry as ever, as if liquid sansana had been injected straight into my bloodstream. It took every fiber in my body to restrain myself back from leaping out of my chair. I could fucking kiss Trench's fuzzy round face right now, if it wasn't for the fact that he was probably fairy dust currently drifting on the solar winds. Alright folks. I clapped, reinvigorated. Sync the fleet with the codes. I believe our present situation has proven itself precarious. With our esteemed Admiral missing in action, I have decided that we are all due for promotions. Power to sublight thrusters. Tuffy, do me a favor and plot an approach vector on the enemy fleet. I reviewed my assets. 23 Munificent-class frigates, 6 Lucra Hulk-class battleships, and a disabled Providence-class dreadnought. The greatest task force I have commanded yet, and I could already feel my bones trembling in excitement. The Jedi Task Force, on the other hand, had only 4 Venator-class destroyers, all of which are still in their carrier fits. God, this will be a cakewalk, if it weren't for the evident presence of Jedi. Sir, Tuff straightened his spine. We are in position. Orders? If the tactical droid had lips, I could imagine him licking them right now in anticipation. Nobody loved a well-executed plan more than a tactical droid, and I could empathize with every fiber in my body. Very well. I grinned like an animal. Repulse, renown, resistance, graceful. I want a 180-degree port roll rotation. Forget the shields. Full power to ventral turbolasers. Rip them apart. Obi-Wan. You need to get out of there. The Jedi Knight shouted. You're heading straight into a trap. I know it is a trap, Anakin. Obi-Wan struggled to keep calm, perturbed by the usually unflappable Jedi's panic. I am trying to figure out what kind of trap. You recognize this formation, General Skywalker? Admiral Euler impressed. Yeah, right. Anakin palmed his face, taking in a deep breath. I last saw it at the Battle of Corvair. Master Luminara's reinforcements had arrived, and the Seps were on the back foot. So I pursued, but it was a feigned retreat. Just as my fleet caught up with them, the Seps doubled back in that formation. All my starfighters were lost. Redeemer and Defender were ripped to scrap metal. The Resolute barely got out of there in one piece. Listen, Master. Anakin spoke with urgency. The frigates beneath you are going to flip on their backs like a Nabooan Ada and light a fire right under you. A brief moment of clarity flashed through Obi-Wan's head as everything Anakin had said suddenly clicked together. Then, panic. Commander Cody was thrown off his feet as Negotiator shook violently, sending clone officers stumbling around the battle room like headless Krabu. The blast doors separating the battle room from the command bridge hissed open, and an officer barely let it stop moving before he stumbled through with wild eyes. General. The clone held his discipline admirably. The Dauntless, it's gone. Both Resolute and Dauntless were trapped sandwiched between two frigates, and just as Anakin predicted, the bottom frigate was turned upside down, tearing into the cruiser's defenseless ventral surfaces with all their firepower. Dauntless had already lost its engines and stabilizers, and was wildly listing to portside in an uncontrollable roll. The ship torn apart as it was captured by Lisa's suffocating gravity. The Resolute was faring no better, held in a death choke between its two frigates. Right now, Anakin's flagship was nothing more than a slab of meat in the jaws of a crate dragon. Orders, sir. A bridge officer stumbled out of the starboard crew pit. Obi-Wan breathed out and reached into the Force to feel his chances. The swiftest path out of their predicament was to continue accelerating until they were through the gauntlet, until he felt the secondary line of munificence lurking in the abyss in front of them, just waiting to pounce. The enemy commander had clearly anticipated that maneuver, that left decelerating, or swerving to starboard, at their present speed. Decelerating will take far too long. All ships. Obi-Wan commanded. Hard right, hard over. He adjusted his footing as Negotiator veered to the right, writhing as it was pummeled to hell and back. Behind him, he could hear exclamations of alarm as Resolute began to break up, its retreat vector unfortunately coinciding with the attack vectors of the two ships Negotiator had just escaped from. But Negotiator and Pioneer escaped the gauntlet, bruised and bleeding. Yes, but they escaped. Sir, the bridge officer muttered. The Force continued to pound his head, like an incessant child. Obi-Wan lifted his head, and saw 4 frigates racing towards them, their forward turbo laser batteries already lighting up the void with baleful red. The flanking Force, his heart dropped. We can still jump into hyperspace, sir. The officer suggested weakly. He was advising retreat. Obi-Wan wanted to protest, but he could see there was no other recourse. He cast a forlorn gaze at the cracked crystal surface of Christophsis. Yes, they can still regroup with Admiral Wirtz's task force, lick their wounds, and return. He could only hope Anakin and Senator Organa can hold out for that long.